Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. This episode has been brought to you by the Wine to Wine Business Forum 2022. This year will mark the 9th edition of the forum to be held on November 7th and 8th of 2022 in Verona, Italy. This year will be an exclusively in-person edition. The main theme of the event will be all-round wine communication. Tickets are on sale now, so for more information, please visit us at winetowine.net. Welcome to this special Italian Wine Podcast broadcast. This episode is a recording off Clubhouse, the popular drop-in audio chat. This Clubhouse session was taken from the Wine Business Club and Italian Wine Club. Listen in as wine lovers and experts alike engage in some great conversation on a range of topics in wine. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinepodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. And remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in. Welcome, everybody, to Ambassador's Corner. It's 5 p.m. on Thursday, and today's Ambassador's Corner will be with Elena and Eleonora Charrère from Les Crêtes, being interviewed by Joan Harnish. And actually, I'm supposed to be Stevie, but since Stevie just left Piemonte, she does apologize because she was intending on being here, but there was a lot of traffic. She has been attending the Women in Food Summit. She was doing something there for a magazine and filming. And so we're going to get started. It is 5 p.m. and welcome.
Hello there.
Well, thank you for coming on. And I just want to give you a quick introduction and then ask you a couple questions about your choice in producers. So you are originally from San Francisco Bay Area in California, and now you live in Spain, just south of Barcelona near the Priorat area. And you have 3 kiddos, and your husband is from Barcelona, and you did a dual Masters MBA and MIM, Masters in Business Administration and Masters in International Management, and specialize in marketing and corporate events management. And you are a Certified Sommelier, WSET 4 holder, Diploma graduate, and Weinakademiker. She's a member of the VIA community, of course, and a climate change activist. Did I miss anything, Joan?
Oh, I think you about covered it.
Awesome. Okay. So super. I am going to ask you, why you selected Les Crêtes as your favorite producer.
Well, I find the Charrère family's history and liaison with both the French and Italian culture and winemaking to be a fascinating story behind their wine. They're located in Val d'Aosta, which we know is the smallest region in Italy, bordering to the west with France, to the north Switzerland, and to the southeast to the Piemonte. And most importantly, as a heroic viticulture producer, Les Crêtes, being in the heart of the Alps, between Mont Blanc, Matterhorn, Monte Rosa, and Gran Paradiso, which are all huge Alps that exceed over 4,000 plus meters above sea level. It's an amazing area to grow wine and very difficult. And this region is known for its small vineyards and limited production of wine. And the heroic feat of the vines clinging to the steep hillsides at high altitudes has come from ages of traditions from the monasteries and castles that dot this lovely landscape. It's actually beautiful. And this, along with the alpine climate and slopes of white stone, we have a number of native varieties that they're all attending to, as well as international varieties. We have, for example, like the Priorat Blanc, Cornalin, Fuman, Petit Arvin, Petit Rouge, Torrette, Premeta, on. And as well as the Picotendro, which is better known as the Nebbiolo. And then on the international side, we're looking at Chardonnays, Gamay, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris, Pinot Noir Syrah. So it's all there, and the producers are high, top-notch quality, and I find them very fascinating for our audience to learn about them.
Okay, yeah. So that was actually, you just touched on my next question, which was what sort of objectives, what sort of what is the audience going to take away from it? But I suppose that's you just touched on that.
Sure, yeah. Basically, so the audience better understands Italy's northwestern mountain wineries, their niche production, and to understand the Crate history, tradition, and innovation, and also to learn about Le Crate's wine tourism, their experiences, and their target market. I think those are the three important objectives.
Perfect. And when did you first taste or discover, like when did you first try their wines?
Oh, this was early last summer. We were hiking in Val d'Aosta, and our hotel had mentioned this winery to a definite visit, and so when we were coming down from one of the hiking trips, we went there and fortunately bumped into Eleonora, who gave us a wonderful wine tasting and just had some amazing stories and explanations about the wines. And we walked out of there. Apart from it, in fact, it's a beautiful winery, and the location is amazing. It's very historical and with deep history in the family. And we just walked out of there like, wow, that was an amazing visit. So that's when we discovered it.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that sounds really cool, and I'm looking forward to the conversation. Before I hand you over, I just want to make sure we've got Elena. You're there, and Eleonora is there as well, or
Here we are. Hello,
Hi.
hello.
wonderful. All right, Joan, I'm going to hand you over, and I'll be back at the end, and there might be some time for questions. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much for your introduction. I'll introduce these two wonderful sisters together, and I will start with Elena, her bio, and then we'll go right into the questions. A co-founder of La Crête Winery with her family, she runs the commercial marketing and communication department since 2007. And after receiving her law degree, she realized that law was not equal for everyone, so she changed her professional direction and worked for the Regional Chamber of Commerce. And it was this work experience that led her full circle back to her family winery, where she became manager. Elena loves creativity, new ideas, photography, cats, and her home. She is fascinated by the spirituality of people and things, and she enjoys eating and is a happy woman with homemade food and nice wine. So, welcome, Elena.
Welcome. I have, as you said, I have no all the masters Joan has, but I'm happy anyway.
Okay, so let me introduce as well your sister Eleonora. And
Yeah.
Eleonora is also co-founder of the Crête family run winery in Aosta Valley. She is a graduate of agronomy and a sommelier, working as an agronomist and production manager at La Crête Winery since 2005. Between the vineyard and the cellar, Eleonora has always loved the magic of wine since she was a little girl. She lives step by step through the evolution of the winery with her father and her sister. She is enchanted by the cycle of nature and its harmony. And in her free time, she enjoys cooking cakes with her two children. Welcome, Eleonora.
Hello.
Okay, nice to hear your voice.
John, we are here. We are living a crazy period because of the harvest.
And thank you for coming. I know harvest is huge time, so thank you for your time in the interview. Okay, so Eleonora, this question is for you. Please tell us about the landscape of Val d'Aosta, the geography and terroir where your grapes are grown.
I like to describe Aosta Valley like a crib among the Alps. This is interesting to let you understand how we feel because we are strictly connected to our terroir and we feel protection for the Alps. The Alps is a place where our vine grows and is a chance for us to make wine in this special area of the world. Our soil is from morenic granite. So the Mont Blanc granite is present in all the Aosta Valley. We have the chance all along the valley floor to find frequently alluvial fans, especially at the mouth of the streams in the main valley. And thanks to these alluvial fans, people in Val d'Aosta, men in Val d'Aosta, started to cultivate the land, to start the activity of the farming, because that special areas are rich in micronutrients for the growing of the plants, which is really interesting in our terroir. Is that Val d'Aosta is one of the driest regions in Italy, which is a little strange. But we are compared, for example, to Basilicata, which is in the south of Italy, concerning the water rain during all the year. So we have a low level of rain, which is good for the cultivation of the vine. But we have sandy soils. And so we have often to use water for emergency during summer. We are really lucky because we have a good reserve of water because of the mountains, of course. And so the vines can produce a good quality grape during the fall period. Usually our soil is poor in loam, in clay, so water cannot be preserved. That's why we need the irrigation emergency. And another interesting thing about our landscape is that we have a vineyard in a steep slope. We have also micro parcels. The average of the parcel for a vineyard is 1,000 square meter, which is very a low amount of surface for the cultivation of the land. So we have to make like a puzzle to have one hectare of vineyard, which is one of the minimum surfaces good for the growing of the grapes. I'm sorry for my English because I'm really Italian, but I hope you understand. And what can I say about our terroir? Well, yeah, it's very important to explain you that the work in the vineyard is done by hand for the 70%. So we prune, we make the winter pruning, the green pruning, the sucker cutoff, the tying of the shoot, the thinning of cluster, the leaf removing, and the harvest, everything by hand. And I think that is very important because in this way we have the direct control of the production during all the period of the vegetation of the grape. And our farm, Les Crêtes, own 30 hectares, which are spread in 9 different villages. Which is a lot for us. It means to move from one place to another, and that for us is important because we spent a lot of time to do that. But our reality is really complex. And from these 30 hectares, we produce 2,205 bottles, which is 18,700 cases. And we work with both indigenous and international varieties, as you said before during the presentation. It's important also for us the altitude. Our vineyards are between 600 and 900 meters above the level of the sea, which is in feet is 1,970 to 2,952. We have to translate to better understand. And we have also a high density of wine per hectare. We have the average is 7,000 to 8,000, 9,000 wine per hectare. So I guess in this way you have a picture of what Aosta Valley viticulture is.
Wow.
This is the first year, the first vintage, where we have had some difficulties. But we are lucky because we have a team of 9 women working with us in field. And every year they reconfirm the present for us. So that is a good warranty for us to have people well informed to have about to work in the vineyard.
Okay, super. Next question is for Elena. At what point in history did your winery make a change to innovate, yet still remain its tradition?
So I have to make a premise that is regarding the story of my family. In Aosta Valley, my family has a long story. My family in the mid of 1700s moved from France to Aosta Valley, and they started out as farmers and millers, and built an home site and a water-powered mill in our property, which is still existing, and we are rebuilding. We are going to rebuild this year, and in 1810, they planted the first 2 hectares of grape, and 1 hectare is like 2.5 acres among. And in 1900s, my grandfather, called Antoine, began to produce wines for sale out of local indigenous grapes. In 1989, my father Costantino enlarged the original estate, building Les Crêtes winery, that is run now by my family. So we are the 6th generation working with wine. And my father, I don't know if I can say that in English. In Italian, we say so. My father made the dirty job creating Les Crêtes. So it was by himself. He created everything, the brand, the winery. He ran the offices, the technical side of all the winery, and it was hard for him to realize everything. And you asked about innovation and tradition. Entering Les Crêtes, there was nothing to do but to do something to try to improve the productivity in many fields, like in the cellar, in the vineyard, or in the market, and the sales, working the sales network and the commercial. That's why my sister and I, with my husband, who is running the winery with us today, we decided to work on the vineyard and in the cellar. In the micro vinification, so what we do now, which differentiates our intervention from my father's decisions, is to work on the individual fields, individual estate composing the wineries. So what the French people call cru. So we try to pick the grapes at the right level of maturation, and we do that in every individual field to have a quality, not only a quality control, but also, as I was saying, the right level of maturation. These micro vinifications are very, very important when we are talking about the quality, because it allows us to reach a very high quality wines.
Okay.
Concerning, the winery, what we try to do to differentiate and to improve the productivity is to work on the agronomic management. That I guess it can be a powerful qualitative tool. So I guess we have to pay a lot of attention to that side. And talking about the climate changes, and we have to adapt ourselves to the climate change we are living, which is not easy, or not at all. And that's true. We have, in fact, a terroir, and that allows us, that give us very good condition to the cultivation of the wine, because as was saying my sister Eleonora, the climate is dry and windy, and this is good. Is a good start for us for the agronomic management. Environmental impact thanks to our climate. I wanted to add what we did to improve the productivity, about the commercial matter, is to realize that we are a very small winery in a very small region, the smallest region, and small quantities require a very high attention to the marketing, positioning, and strategy. This to guarantee supplies and to be present in wine lists. And this is a side that has to be very very careful to this side. We are lucky because we are a boutique winery, and we have a low production, but the choice to be present in the market has to be done focusing on specific areas that are important to us. Like regionally, talking about Aosta Valley, we think we have to be strong where we have roots. Nationally, we pay attention to Italian capitals, and internationally to the nation, that can be important to us in terms of guarantee of products. So we have a problem which is not given by the positioning high quantities, but is the opposite problem, which has to be anyway taken into consideration.
Exactly. And the next question is for Eleonora, which is, what are your best sellers locally, nationally, and internationally? And can you please tell us what those profiles are like?
I'd like to start by the description of Fumen, which is an autochthonous grape, brother of Petit Rouge, Cornalin, Pré Rouge, the indigenous varietal you mentioned before.
Yes.
For us, Fumin represents the roots, our roots, is the connection with our past and our terroir. As a name, that reminds the smoke, because in Italian fumo means smoke, because of its skin, which is like a deep purple and a gray, and a deep violet and gray. Fumant is a masculine and sensual wine with a great character, and he has a deep color, really intense. In the past, it was used to give body and a structure to wines, and Fumant was on an extinction way, can I say? It was disappearing in Austavale Terroir, and our father Costantino decided to plant one vineyard only made with Fumant. And he decided to make a vinification 100% Fumant, which gave us really interesting results. That's why we decided to continue in this road of the valorization of these autochthonous. And is a wine at the nose rich in fruit and spices, with also some notes of leather. In the mouth is juicy, with soft tannins, with note of juniperus and tobaccos, and with a fineness like licorice. So that's a description of the wine. The national, our bestseller, is the Petite Arvine. Petite Arvine for us represents the future. Petite Arvine is a feminine wine with a peculiar personality. Is a nose, floral, citrus, with a note of passion fruit, and on the palate is a sapid with mineral nuances, really high acidity, so really fresh, with a long finish. Talking of Petite Arvine, I talk about the future, because Petite Arvine is representing for us the grape for our micro-vinification. We are trying to let Petite Arvine age in concrete eggs. We are using 700 liters eggs in concrete, and we are having good results. In the next 5 years, maybe we will make a special edition of Petite Arvine aged in this way. We are vinifying also a cru with Petite Arvine, which is called Fleur. And we are also making sparkling wine, a classic method, which is called Reban, a 36-month aged in champagne. And we are really having good and satisfying results. And then, for concerning the international bestseller, we have to talk to our Chardonnay Québécois, of course. Chardonnay Québécois for us is like the leitmotif. Here we say le fil rouge, and is the wine conceived by our father Costantino after an encounter in French in Burgundy with a vine grower, which is called Gagnard de Lagrange. My father discovered the technique to aging and fermenting Chardonnay in French oak in barrique. Chardonnay Québécois for us is how can I say, is an international grape, which is the expression of our peculiar terroir. And my father, when started here at Les Crêtes, he started with 3 barriques, and now for us, Chardonnay is a production of 8,000 bottles. So it's a wine for us that represented the growth of the cellar during the years. It was also a change for all the vine growing in Val d'Aosta, because before that no one talked about Val d'Aosta wine production. And now everyone knows, thanks to Chardonnay, Cuvée Bois, Val d'Aosta is concerning wines. Tasting Chardonnay Cuvée Bois, of course, after 12 months in 300 liters barrel, you can feel the influence of the oak, but it's a really delicate oak. There is a good balance between the fruit. You find exotic fruit, you find hazelnut butter, vanilla, a delicate toasty aroma. And in the man, you find minerality, acidity, also fruit body. So it is a really complex wine, which well represent what our terroir can do in wine.
Yes, thank you. Elena, we know that you have a law degree. Did you also study in the field of wine?
Actually, not so soon. I'm very stubborn, and I know it. And I knew that I would have taken advantage of the situation, of being in a family, and too comfortable maybe in my winery shoes. That's why I don't know if I can say that, but
We believe you.
thank you. And so I thought that was better having an experience after my law degree outside of the family business. That's why I decided to work in the PA, in the public administration. And so I entered the Chamber of Commerce. I entered the Chamber of Commerce of my region. That experience allowed me to know the political context of my region, of course, but made me also realize that I wasn't born to follow orders. I'm not born for that, and otherwise maybe I'm better. I'm born to do something for myself. And all the experiences, out of the winery led me right to Les Crêtes winery, and so I guess that I tried to escape, but I couldn't. Do it, and that was maybe by destiny to be here at the winery, and that made me grow this experience at the winery. I with my father, I have a conflicting relationship because we are very similar in many ways, and often we come head to head, very often. But over the years, we learned how to find a connection, and we did it. Then he fell sick like 4 years ago, and he had a stroke. He cannot speak anymore, but
Sure.
but we have a connection anyway, and all what we want to do is to thank him for all he has done for us and the winery. It is a part of the rewarding side of the job here. Yeah.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Italian Wine Podcast, brought to you by Mama Jumbo Shrimp.
Okay. Elena, I was asking you, what advice would you give other women working their way up in the Italian wine industry?
I would suggest them to believe in their passion and daring every time to achieve their goals. I guess this is important in life. And we were talking before about the rewarding part of the job,
Yes.
of my job. In particular, I guess ideation in any form. It can concern a wine, a label, an experience to offer to customers. I guess that ideation, accompanied by the creation, realization of a project of quality, it's all I could ask from this job. And this is really satisfying for me. It's also satisfying the satisfaction of the final consumer. And another side, very rewarding of this job for me is the respect that we can show with our work to the nature. That's what we try to do.
Very interesting. Okay, thank you. Let me move on to Eleonora. I wanted to ask you concerning this year's harvest that I know you're still doing, and you have to get back at it very soon. What are you finding to be the hardest part of this year's harvest, and the best part, and the best part?
During this harvest, the very hard part is the drought and the lack of water. We experienced it during this summer, which influenced the ripening of the grapes in the different parcels. Since our soil cannot retain water because of the absence of clay, of loam, we need irrigation for emergency during the month of July usually. And so the old vineyard, which are without irrigation, they were in a little sufferance because of the lack of water. But fortunately, the new vineyard with the irrigation, they hadn't any problem. But the difficult now for us at the moment of the harvest is to establish the right moment to pick the grape in the different parcels. For example, for our Chardonnay Cuvée Bois, we have 7 different parcels in 7 different areas for doing 7 micro vinification or separated. And that is really crazy. We did it. Chardonnay Cuvée Bois now is fermenting in the cellar, but it was very stressful to find the right time for the right parcel. So talking about our best part is luckily there is also a good part of luckily is the quality of the grape, because we had perfectly healthy grapes, and the fungal diseases hadn't any chance to develop because of the dry weather. So oidium and downy mildew this year were not present in any vineyard.
Fantastic.
That was really good, and it was really good for us also concerning the intervention on field with the treatment. So this year, really a minimum number of treatment we did with obtaining good quality grape.
Oh, that sounds like a wonderful achievement. That's really nice to hear. Thank you for that. And Elena, I wanted to ask you now, how does Les Crêtes Winery stand out in terms of wine tourism? Tell us about the wine tourism, please, and maybe a little bit about the Refugio del Vino.
Oh, perfect. So the Refugio del Vino is a tasting room born in 2016 and close to the historic wineries. And it is structurally connected to the winery, and we thought that to open the doors of our cellar, to open our soul, and to wine lovers, and to everyone who wanted to discover our world. And we decided to call it Refugio del Vino, that in English means wine hut.
Mm-hmm.
Because for us it has a meaning. Why not? Because the Refugio del Vino arises among the Alps, evoking a typical architecture of white heights, and also because the Refugio, the wine hut, concerns a structure typical from mountain architecture, and was built with the meaning to protect the wine as a food and has a heritage of the mountain terroir. And we choose that because we think that we are making mountain wines, and with their very clear characteristics. And we make an heroic viticulture, as Eleonora said before.
Mm-hmm.
And so we choose to, we gave to the Refugio a profile that reminds the mountain chains to become the symbol of our winery.
Okay.
And to define better, identify better our brand.
Exactly.
And
okay.
and you saw it, so
Yes,
you can say me.
It is architecturally stunning, and you do feel like you're going into the peaked mountains, and then once you walk in and those huge, the windows that look out over the vineyards, etc. It is absolutely amazing, and it really attracts any eye to bringing the outside into the refugio. It's beautiful. And
that was the goal, so
yeah, it was very, very
got it.
It's beautiful, and I would definitely recommend anyone who is in Valdosta to go and visit and see this. It is architecturally amazing. So
we
I
are going to
understand what you're
wait
saying.
for.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds beautiful. Well, okay, let me move on with another question for Eleonora.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is now a question moving on to climate change. I'd like to know how climate change is impacting Les Crêtes approach, and if you find that the winery's approach is proactive or is it reactive?
I guess we are having a complex approach. In the past, we have always had an empirical approach, basing also his experience in the past. There is a kind of knowledge, especially when you live in particular areas. There is an ancestral knowledge that every man knows. But I guess that now it is no more enough to own a vineyard. Times are changing, weather and climate is changing. And so what we are doing is to build a new knowledge, to rebuild a new knowledge for us. That's why, for example, we have now a weather station for the environment data relief in our vineyards. So we can have the relief of the temperature, the humidity of the soil, the humidity of the air, to study what's happening now in our specific area.
Okay.
That's one point. Then we are also intensifying the monitoring on field, the direct monitoring on field of the vine plant. So we are more frequently in the vineyard to see, especially during summer, especially this summer, because of this drought. We frequently were there to see what was happening.
Right.
And then what we are doing generally to prevent the climate change is working as possible with green energy. That's why we are now working with the electricity from solar and from hydro exclusively. Which is important right now. We guess it is important to do something for the environment. And we are also working at the cellar with the pellet to heat all the building.
Okay. And it sounds like you're very proactive in terms of working a lot of different angles, not only out in your vineyards, but inside the cellar as well. How about with your bottling and all that kind of stuff? Have you decreased the weight in your bottles or anything like that in terms of shipping, etc.?
At the cellar, we are using a light bottle. We don't use anymore heavy bottle for also top wines. So we decided to use for all the production the same bottle, which is a medium low heavy bottle to reduce the pollution, the CO2. And at the cellar, what we do also is working with really low chemical. We respect the vine, and so we really work only with sulfur and copper. With at the cellar with sulfites, and in the field with sulfur and copper.
So out in the field, got you. Okay, and do you believe that with some of the autochthonous grapes and the native grape varieties coming that are so popular now in Italy, and they're really making a comeback, are these going to be our big heroes in climate change coming forward? Do you think that?
Concerning autochthonous grape, I guess that grape, that vine, has a high capacity of adapting itself to the differences of weather we are living. So right now, I guess that also autochthonous grape can survive also with these changings. But I think also that it's important to make research and why not maybe in the future to try to work with resistant varietals, specific clones, more resistant to the drug. It should be a way. But I'm scared about that because I don't want to lose what is my treasure. For me, the treasure is also the autochthonous varietal. For us, are very important because there's a preservation of our identity, and so I'm scared about losing them.
Yeah, that is something to be, concerned about. And I understand that you're going to the essence of your varietals that you've, made your winery upon. So that's very important to maintain that research on your, within your own field there. But sounds really interesting. It's a tough thing that we're looking against, this climate change, and it's interesting to see how people, how they react to it or what approach they take. But it sounds like you're doing a lot there in your winery, and I'm finished with my questions. I don't know if we open up questions now to our public, but
Hi there. We have one from Andre Batkilin, and okay, it's about potential, and he's asking, could they describe how it's changing, the flavor profile is changing through time? And if it's not clear, I can actually bring him up so that he can ask it himself.
Yeah, I tried to answer. It's Eleonora speaking.
We are observing is that in the past there was more the research of a wine complex with I present of oak, especially thinking about our Cuvée Bois, and now the evolution is to look for more fruit, more freshness in wines. Now people want to appreciate the expression of the fruit, and so that's why it is very important to use in the right way the oak during the vinification.
Great, awesome, thank you. I just I wanted to just see if there's any more questions before I start talking again. Anybody else? If there are more questions and or you think about a question later, you can always email me at info@italianwinepodcast.com, and I will of course forward anything to Eleonora or Elena, or Joan, in fact, because we're reaching the end of our time on Clubhouse. And I just wanted to quickly thank everyone for it was a wonderful conversation. And I actually just wanted to say, I checked the architecture that you were just talking about on the website, the wine tourism, and I thought that the buildings, they look so beautiful. So I just want to say that that's really wonderful. But yeah, no, I want to say great conversation.
Thanks.
Thank you, Elena and Eleonora. Thank you so much for participating in your time. I know you're in a hurry, but you were wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks for choosing the Crêtes. Thanks. It was a pleasure for us. Of course.
See you again sometime.
Next week we have Pablo Fernandez interviewing Angelo Varvaglione. Next week, next Thursday. So you guys come back, stick around, tune in. And of course, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening, and bye to Laika, who is having some connection problems. So
thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you.
We
hope you enjoyed today's episode brought to you by the Wine to Wine Business Forum 2022. This year will mark the 9th edition of the forum, to be held on November 7th and 8th, 2022, in Verona, Italy. Remember, tickets are on sale now, so for more information, please visit us at winetowine.net. Hi guys, I'm Joy Livingston and I am the producer of the Italian Wine Podcast. Thank you for listening. We are the only wine podcast that has been doing a daily show since the pandemic began. This is a labor of love and we are committed to bringing you free content every day. Of course, this takes time and effort, not to mention the cost of equipment, production, and editing. We would be grateful for your donations, suggestions, requests, and ideas. For more information on how to get in touch, go to ItalianWinePodcast.com.